Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, welcome to another episode of Live Wire Sports Media. I just came across this video link on X. Thanks to Ken Swift, who's always, I don't know how he does it. He be finding these videos and he be posting it on X, but I'm glad he did because Sydney Colson, the new acquisition to the Indiana Fever, who some of us kind of like didn't expect for her to be there because the fact of the matter is people thought that she was, going to be controversial because of her friendship with Aja Wilson. But nevertheless, Sid Colson brings a whole hell of a lot of experience to the Indiana Fever, a person who won championships, who helped won a championship for the Aces. And she just dropped a major bombshell on X about what it's going to take for the Indiana Fever to be a championship team and a lot of sacrifices that's going to be made about players who have to do their job. And it's almost like a Bill Belichick type of thing. You have to do your job to win championships. We've seen it with the Bulls. I just came across a clip where Michael Jordan was talking about having Dennis Rodman on the team, and the reporter asked him, said, would you want Dennis Rodman back on your team? He said, yeah. He said, I don't give a crap about Dennis Rodman gambling or wearing a dress or whatever. He said, when Dennis Rodman is on the floor, he's a basketball player. He goes after loose balls. He rebounds. He throws his body around. He is all about winning. And that's where we as Fever fans, Caitlin Clark fans, that's the mindset that we need to be in right now. It's not about people's personal agendas or what they're going to. Once they suit up in that Fever uniform, it's about winning a championship. It's not about all of the extra stuff. Yeah, there's some people that has came on the Fever that's controversial, but the old saying goes, winning cures everything. And when you're winning and you're winning titles, it does not matter. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of turmoil going on with the Bulls, with the ownership. They could continue to win. Set a record, 72-10. Win 6 titles. The only team that went three-peat twice in that span. Even after Jordan took a break after the first three-peat and came back. Kobe Bryant, same thing with Shaq, with Andrew Bynum. All of them, and they won titles. Same thing with the New England Patriots. A decade, a 20-year decade of winning, 3 different Hall of Fame careers with Tom Brady. It's all about sacrifice, getting the right players in there with the mentality of winning. And I do believe, even though Caitlin Clark has won in college, Big Ten championships, she's never won the big one, the national championships. But when you have players and veterans that came in there that have won titles, and they could easily sit there with a Caitlin Clark and a Leah Boston and say, hey, this is what we did to win titles. Everybody on this team has a role to play. And when you develop that kind of mentality and go into that game, every game in and game out, the Fever could be the first team to win. They could go 44-0. That's realistic. They could be the first team to go through the whole season undefeated. They could probably be the first team to win half of their games, will lose 3 games or 5 games. There could be, but the thing about it is they could continue that. Now, like I said, a lot of people wasn't high on Sid Colson, but because she's a comic relief person. She does skits and all of this stuff. But and people say, well, she's not good at 3-point. This is the first thing that when somebody signs with the Fever or signs with the team, the first thing they go to is their stats. Is It's not always about shooting. It's not always about what shooting threes or whatever the case would be. Yeah, that's nice, but you could always get players that could do those things. Why do you think it made Lexi Hall so special last year when she came in? It wasn't her 3-point shooting; it was her defense. Her defense was the role. That's why she was in the game. That's why she was able to start last year. It wasn't for her 3-point shooting. She took Melissa Smith and she took Katie Lou Samuelson's spot because there was a liability on defense. You know what I'm saying? Katie Lou Samuelson lost confidence. She took herself starting lineup. Melissa Smith couldn't get out her own way. Lexi Hall came in and said, you know what, let me do this. When she got the opportunity to score, yeah, she scored. But she played defense. And this is why y'all need to listen to this clip by Sydney Colson because she's nailing it right on the head. This is the kind of attitude that the Fever needs right now. Somebody say, hey, I'm gonna be a vocal leader. Caitlin, hey, we need you to do this. Do what you do best. Leah, we need you to do this. Do what you do best. Take a look.
So like with the Aces, people would dismiss me as a non-factor. Like for a lot of the year, I've been a role player, come off the bench for my entire season. But you were at that New York game. Like I had to come in.
Yeah, makes stats.
I had 2 points. I had 2 points, but I had to defend Sabrina for the game. And so, if our team, if the Fever, with our team, we have to understand like every role is important. You need somebody to be excited about being a defensive stopper. You need somebody to be excited about getting rebounds. Like you need all the pieces to make it work. And so while offense is sexy for everybody, it's like we need every single person to be showing up every day, and we got to know what we're going to get from you. So that was a big thing with the Aces. Like we accepted our roles and we thrived in them, and that's what made us successful. And so, I have a feeling that that'll be the vibe going to this team as well. And if it's not, then I'm gonna just be speaking up a lot, I guess.
Hey, to be honest with you, I can't even be mad at Sydney Colson for what she said. Because if this team ain't ready to win and she's going to be the vocal leader about it, one of the vocal leaders on this team, then guess what? We need that. I wish she was on this team last year, especially with the way Melissa Smith was playing, the way this team was playing. Trust me, with her, DeWanna Bonner, and Natasha Howard, they're going to make sure this team goes in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they know that Caitlin Clark is the leader of the team. And what this Stephanie White said, she said she wants Caitlin Clark to assume a different role. We know what you are on the court, but that leadership mentality, seeing somebody like, and I do believe this, her and Sydney and Caitlin wanted Sydney Colson on this team, believe it or not. Because guess what? Caitlin's going to learn a lot from Sid. Sid's going to teach her. Sid's going to have Caitlin walking a different walk because Sid gets it. Bonner gets it. Howard gets it. They all won titles. And you have to have every wheel turn in the same way for you to get to go in the same direction. If you don't do that, you could have a flat tire at any given moment on the highway. But you got to know where you're going. And this is what the Fever need. They need that kind of dog mentality. They need that kind of person that say, hey, I don't care if I score 2 points, but guess what? I'm going to lock your best player up on your team. If it's a Kelsey Plum, if it's a Courtney Williams, is that she's going to play against Chelsea Gray. She's going to play, you know what I'm saying? She's going to assume that task. But at the same time, she's going to make sure that we all on the same page. What is your role? What you need to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what it takes to win games. This is what it takes to win titles. This is what it takes to be a champion. And I think that when they go into the season, they are going to slowly build that chemistry. Why you think the Aces? Why you think the Storm? Why you think the Liberty? Why you think the Connecticut Sun at the time? Why they were so successful? Why you think the Minnesota Lynx is the way they are? These teams had continuity. They had chemistry. They all knew their role. Everybody can't score 20 or 30 points a game. And that's what something that we was all talking about. Well, who's going to get shots for this team? You know, DeWanna Bonner might get 10 shots, 12 shots. But her shots might take a back seat because she might be playing defense a little bit more. Natasha Howard, she might not get a lot of touches. DeWanna Bonner might get more shots than her in some games, but she might do a lot of things on the floor that's defensively. Sophie Cunningham comes in there. She might average 5 threes a game, but guess what? She's on there for defensive purposes. Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston might be the main scorers on the team, and Kelsey Mitchell, along with DeWanna Bonner, chipping in 10 points here, 12 points here. Natasha Howard chipping another 12, whatever the case may be. Sydney Colson might average 5 points for the season, but guess what? She might lead the team in defense efficiency. So there's a lot of things that this team needs to do and understand what their role is. It don't matter how great you are. It's about the people around you that's going to propel you to the greatness. And that's why Caitlin was so successful at Iowa, because everybody on that team knew their role. And that's why I see the same thing. But only difference is Caitlin got leaders that can help her, guide her, and see her. And then you got a coach that understands it. Because guess what? Your coach told you, we going to play defense. It's not going, we're going to get up and down on the floor, but we're going to play defense because we're going to get these stops that's going to lead to our offense, where when we playing teams and we got a 20-point lead on them, we not lingers the 20-point lead comes the third quarter like the Fever did last year, where they had a 20-point lead and all of a sudden it's down to 6. And then by the fourth quarter, they lose in the game because they can't get back in because Caitlin Clark burned out. Leah Boston ain't efficient. Kelsey Mitchell shooting them out the game. And then they don't have no other firepower that's on the bench that can keep them in. Now you got players on this team that especially they know how to win, and they going to pose their will on these young players on this team to help them, guide them there. And like I said, I think Caitlin Clark has the best cast around her, especially when it comes down to veterans, because when you got to think about this. When Michael Jordan had Dennis Rodman on his team, Dennis Rodman won back-to-back titles with the Detroit Pistons. Jordan won the first three-peat. So that was 5 NBA titles of Tudino. But Dennis Rodman knew what it takes. I see Sid Colson is that Dennis Rodman. She might be wacky and crazy, whatever the case may be, but she's going to be that Dennis Rodman. She's going to hustle her behind her. She's going to play defense. She's going to get up into you. And guess what? That's going to feed off on Sophie Cunningham, who loves getting spicy. That's going to feed off of Lexi Hall, who's going to really, she might be quiet, but she's going to be able to get there. That's going to feel DeWanna Bonner, Caitlin Clark, all of them. I'm telling you, this team is going to be very, very exciting to watch this season, and I can't wait for it. If you like this video, continue to like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode, Livewire Sports Media, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Livewire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Livewire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.